Hello YouTube, this is Bash bringing you back for another video. We actually have a movie this time of my BBL Arceus Season 11 season. I kind of want to show you how that season went, and we're going to put all the games in one video. It's going to be one long video of just all the games and everything that happened in it. So, yeah, but to start off with, we are going to go over what I ended up drafting this season. But yeah, we're in the highest division in BBL Arceus, and I've played there for many, many years. I've been there, I believe, since season 3. I played every season since season 3, and I won one other time, by the way, back in season 4, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, yeah, season 4, and so I'm playing for a long time, and wanted to kind of go over the team because the season went, I would say, pretty well. I would say, but yeah. So we got like a later pick in the draft, and there's been one Uber that I've been really, I really love using now. It is, in my opinion, like one of the best Ubers to use because of the versatility and the bulk, but also the speed, the setup, what it has. It's just really good. And that Pokemon is Mega Mewtwo X. This mon is a monster. It has a huge attack stat, right? And a really good special attack stat as well. 154, no, 190, 154, and has good bulk with 106, 100, 100, 100, and the good speed stat as well. But the other thing is, like, it gets really good. The special coverage it gets is really, really good with like Nasty Plot. But you can also run it physical. Everybody's gonna prefer physical Mega Mewtwo X as well because it hits really, really hard as well. Look at the attack stat, right? And now that it got knockoff, which was really huge, and I don't think it got lash out before too. So those two, like getting the coverage to hit Ghost, and Psychic types on the physical side was very clutch for it, and it made it, I think, a lot better too. But this Pokemon is an absolute monster. So I'm really excited to be using it again. So the pick came back to me, and I was looking through like the Ubers, and this season we did a little different where you could draft unlimited Ubers as long as if you fit within the budget. So I decided to go for another Uber here, and I found this was probably a really good support mon, and it's also its typing is really good for a lot of the really high powered Ubers that might come, right? So that's kind of like the thought process behind this next pick. It's just the typing's really good in a lot of matchups, and I got Migrina here. Migrina, a lot of people know what it does. It is known for versatility. It has so many different sets with like Trick Room, Shift Gear, Calm Mind, Stored Power, um, utility, like we have Heal Bell, stuff like that, Volt Switch, Pivot kind of situation. It has a lot of stuff. Actually, it has Encore too, which is really nice, and it has Pain Split too. But yeah, it has a lot of versatility. The one thing this thing kind of struggles, I guess, with is fire types. But I think that's perfectly fine. Um, I think I really wanted it for the utility perspective, right? It gives me a really good flying answer for flying and fairy answer for Mega Mewtwo X, which was kind of like one of the goals I wanted with this pick, and it just gives a lot of support and a lot of versatility with what I have here. So I've got really two really versatile mons, and the draft goes around, it comes back, and I just thought people keep calling this Pokemon a fraud, and like I can't believe that because this Pokemon is an absolute monster. I've used it twice before this, and every time it has done so much work for me, and that is Chi-Yu. I wanted a Breaker, a really good Terra Pokemon, so this Pokemon is actually my Terra Captain, and it has done really well this season. Oh, I forgot to mention also. So Terra rules. There is max 2 Terra captains, and I believe you have 20 or 25 points for Terra. All the Ubers are banned, and it's Terra preview. So you could be it's free Terra or Terra preview. So I can choose whatever Terra type I want, and then bring that. And then gonna see on Terra on preview what Terra it is. But yeah, this mon is a monster. It doesn't have that much coverage, but it doesn't really need it. Flamethrower, Overheat, Dark Pulse, Psychic. That's really the extent of what you need for the coverage anyway. And then of course Terra Blast, which is even makes it even better, right? With Terra, um, there is no check to this with Terra. I'm gonna be honest, there is no answer to this. This thing could just blow through teams, which is really nice. It also gets nice utility like Memento, Taunt, screens kind of situation. And Will-O-Wisp. So I feel like this was a really good pick for us. It gives me that really good breaking power I wanted, but it also gives me a really good scarf option as well because Chi is really good for scarfing, and it gives me a dark type to pressure a lot of the psychics that Mega Mewtwo X doesn't like. So we just spent a lot of points, and I decided to um, spend even more because I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna get another Uber. So after that, we are gonna have to dip down low in the budget to grab some mons because we still have to make sure that we fill out um, 10, uh, 10 Pokemon on the team minimum. So that's going to be the big issue. I've actually, during the draft, there was like throughout all the drafts, I saw a couple people almost mess up with that. So they've only trying to just drive 9, but this league requires you have to have at least 10 Pokemon on the team. So for this next Pokemon is Zygarde Complete. I wanted to draft it because I felt like my team, first of all, deals really has really good ways to deal with grass types offensively and defensively, right? And bugs, right? But the bigger thing is like I felt like I didn't wasn't really worried about the ice weakness because Terrachiyu, Magearna, Mewtwo X, they all pressure it too. And I think I really liked the priority first off that it provides, but also like the setup option I have with it. So I can use Chiyu to break in and use Zygarde to set up on it. It also provides actually a really bulky wall kind of situation, and it gets Glare too, which is nice to slow things down for Mega Mewtwo X and Chiyu, right? So that's something to keep in mind, and I think it really pairs decent well with like Magearna too, with like taking down those fire types that Magearna can't hit as well because fire types don't really want to come to Zygarde 50 because I could get a free sub up on most of them, kind of thing. So that's something to keep in mind. But this Pokemon is a monster. Look at this HP stat, right? Obviously, before it becomes Zygarde 50, it is regular Zygarde. So there's like a drastic, huge difference, right? Um, in the HP investment, HP stat. So, but and I have to get below half for it to work. But I think it's a really good Pokemon. I think for our team. So, and at this point, I decided I needed to grab removal because like my points were getting really low. I don't have removal at this moment. I want it for Terrachiyu, so I end up going with a classic for me at least. I've used this Pokemon a lot in both Ubers and Standard because of the it's a pretty like I like using it as a removal option, and it gives me momentum. It also has trapping abilities, and that is the Decidueye. Decidueye may look some kind of weak at first, but I feel like it provides like good utility options. Roost, Haze, Knockoff, um, like um, Defog kind of stuff. It also has setup as well. It stores stance and nasty plot, which is really nice. It has priority in Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak. So I feel like this was a good mon to use. And on top of that, I really like the long reach on it because that way I don't get hit by Rocky Helmet or Flame Body kind of situation or Static. So that was really good. But the I really wanted to use. I really like this fact that Spirit Shackle plus like Curse could be really cool tech for like stall teams to break them down. So that's something to keep in mind though. But yeah, we end up going with Decidueye as our pick right here, and I decided to grab with this pick a Pokemon that I felt really paired well with Zygarde and Chi-Yu was kind of the idea, and that Pokemon is Vaporeon because hear me out. Wish support from Vaporeon to Zygarde is going to be really amazing for me. It gives me another ice resist. What comes in on Vaporeon? Grass and electrics, right? Which Chi-Yu eats grass types alive and electrics Zygarde deals with. So I felt like Vaporeon was a really good option here. It gives me a water absorber Pokemon too, so they can't spam water Scald against me, which is really nice as well. So see, since my grass type is physical, I don't want to get burned on it. It gets new tech too with alluring voice, which I really like to help with preventing setup as well. But the big thing is I really like the Wish flip turn ability and plus Heal Bell and Roar. I really like on the set because it kind of helps shut down, helps like support the team and just make sure that nothing gets out of control while also healing up the rest of my team. So that was kind of what I was going with. So with the next pick, I was actually sniped like multiple times. Nash could attest to it because I wanted Scolipede in this point because I wanted a really good grounded poison. I felt like the speed tier was really good on my team, and it would be add more hazards right to the team because at the moment I don't have any hazards either. But unfortunately, that got taken. But I felt um, really I ended up going with this pick, which actually turns out I think fit the team more anyway. And I got Glamora. Now, the reason why I think Glamora is really good on my team is because I think Zygarde Complete works really well with it. This is because Glamora, typically with Glamora, you want to bring your grounded poison to the match, but grounded poisons just don't do are just completely destroyed by Zygarde Complete. On top of that, my fairy isn't even weak to poison, and my grass isn't weak to poison. So, and Mega Mewtwo destroys poisons. So, I felt like this was a really good pick. I ended up being a really good pick. It gives me another form of removal, which is really nice as well with Mortal Spin. But the big thing is like T Spike's hazard stack, and it hits hard as well. So I feel like this is a really good pick for our team. So I'm excited to see use Glamora as well. Then we came our next Terra type because this is we're down to like I believe we're down to like 7 points at this point now. And although I believe we have 25 Terra points now that I remember it. And Chi was 18. So you would think I would try to get like a 7 point Terra, but I can't. Just the way the team worked out, I couldn't get like a mid tier Terra Pokemon. So I ended up having to go with this. And I felt like this was the best option I could see between the last couple Mons on the team. And I ended up going with Terra Articuno. Now, um, Terra Articuno is kind of very interesting. I felt like I feel like one of the things that like slows it down is its typing rate. So I felt like getting the Terra type was really nice for it. To give more bulk and utility. It also gets Terra Blast too, which is really nice. Yeah, Terra Blast. So I could actually hit it with coverage. It's not one of those Pokemon that doesn't get Terra Blast right now, but it gets Freeze Dry. It gets like screens. It gets Defog. It gets Roar, Whirlwind, Haze, Heal Bell. It has like a lot of good utility, which I felt like was kind of important on this team. And it's actually like kind of bulky too. 90, 100, 125, especially on the Spadef side. I feel like it's kind of worth on this. Um, the only thing I kind of wish it was like it got like Calm Mind or something like that, but it does not, unfortunately. But I feel like it was still a really good pick here. Gives me another priority in Ice Shard too, which is really nice in like Ubers since there's a lot of dragons and Ubers. So yeah, but I feel like this was a really good option for Terra. I don't know how often I'm gonna bring it compared to Chi-Yu because Chi-Yu is such a better Terramon, but I felt like at least in prep it like can help a lot, or at least like force like different options, right? Or give me a potential option if I need to bring like a more bulky utility mon. So now at this point, I'm having a pretty tough time with the speed tier because Scolipede was taken. So I and going for this Pokemon, and I have 3 points left. So I'm like, this is like the probably the best Pokemon at like three, like within 1 or 2 points because I needed to have two more Pokemon on the team. So I end up going with a Lone Duck Trio. A Lone Duck Trio, not gonna lie, kind of ass. Um, Thought about giving this Terra, but where it could have been actually kind of useful. But the fact that I feel like the only way this would have been really good was if I got like sand with it, and I don't think I'm not planning on getting sand with it, but um, it gives me another ground type that isn't weak to ice, which is nice. They don't actually Zygarde Complete and Alone Dictrio don't share any of the same weaknesses, but the big thing is it just has like the 110 base speed, which is kind of what I wanted. The split between Mega Mewtwo X and Chi-Yu. It has Pursuit, it has Sucker Punch, has Rocks kind of thing, so that was kind of nice. Um, but yeah, it's really there to just fill that speed gap at this moment. So that brings us to our last pick with 1 point, which actually I think is honestly a better Pokemon on the team than a Lone Duck Trio is, and that is Greedent. Greedent is really cool. I've seen Jack Gravy, whatever, use it pretty well. Stuff Cheeks is really cool with it. Where is it? Stuff Cheeks, right? So if you hold the berry, if you use it, if you eat the berry, you automatically get +2 defense with it, and you restore HP because of Cheek Pouch. So I think this is a really good pick in that term. Gives me a ghost immunity because right now my ghost resist switch in was Chi Yu, so this gives me a better one at least, and it's kind of bulky as well. So I felt like it was kind of worth. Um, but it could like set SD up. It could run like a Lychee Berry and get like an attack boost with the defense boost with Stuffed Cheeks. It gets like kind of weird coverage that actually is kind of nice at least, right? Earthquake, Gyro Ball, Knockoff, Psychic Fang, stuff like that. Trailblazers are cool too, so that was something to keep in mind. I actually considered this for Terra, but I ended up going with Terra Kuno. I thought it was just probably better for the team overall. But yeah, I felt like decently confident about Greenit. So yeah, let's go into the matches I'm going to play each week, starting with week one. Okay, here we are for week one. We're going to start off with, and we're up against DD12345, and their team consists of Mega Mewtwo Y, Rayquaza, Terra Corona, Ferrothorn, Great Tusk, Milotic, Scolipede, Rotom Fan, Wigglytuff, Alone Grammar, and Charjabug. Um, Very scary team, and if you look on the side over here on the left, you'll see kind of like what we decided to go with. We got one like a bulky Mega Mewtwo X, really bulky Mega Mewtwo X with Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Flamethrower. The idea is to like um, get pretty free Calm Minds off on things like um, the Great Tusk, the I can get Calm Mind probably on like Scolipede if it's not SD, stuff like that was kind of the idea. And then also the idea is that like Psy Strike has enough investment so max special attack timid Psy Strike does not 2 KO me from Mega Mewtwo Y if I'm Mega Evolved, and the Calm Mind is going to be boosting me against like things like Shadow Ball was kind of the idea. The biggest threat to like that is like going to be probably like a Scarf or Claws, which I think should probably come, but we'll see. Then we got Zygarde 50 here. Zygarde Complete, I meant. Zygarde 50 originally, and then it goes to Zygarde Complete. Extreme Speed, 1,000 Arrows, Coil, Substitute. This has enough investment, I believe. So I believe at +1 or 2 when I'm in complete form, Great Tusk does not break my sub. Then Volcarona does not really break the sub really either with Terra Water, which I expect Terra Water, Terra Ground to come, to be honest. Just a neutral Terra Blast won't break my sub, was kind of the idea. Yeah, so is that. Then we got Scarf Chi over here. Scarf Chi is just here because Mega Mewtwo Y. I have nothing to outspeed it. I need something to outspeed it to put pressure on it. And then Mementos to try to like Mega Mewtwo X as Zygarde set up. Just like this coverage. We're going Terra Dark because I know Milotic is coming for the switch in. And Dark Pulse Terra Dark is just better against this team because of the Rayquaza as well. Then we got like Fizz Def Vaporeon. This is just here to pivot around Be help against like things like Volcarona. Could help against like Great Tusk. It can help against Scolipede. It helps against. It could take like a hit from making me 2Y if need be to get myself momentum to get into you kind of thing. Wish support is really good for Zyger complete, and we got Magirna here. Very weird set. Magirna had like a terrible matchup, but I felt like I kind of wanted it anyway this match because of the fact that because I wanted, first of all, I want Cleric because I felt like the status was going to come a lot with Volcarona, Milotic, Ferrothorn, Scolipede, stuff like that. And Magirna is really good for checking some of the stuff like Rayquaza a little bit, depending on the set, and the what's it called, the Scolipede, yeah. But the thing I noticed, um, something that I noticed though is like things like Volcarona and Ferrothorn give this thing a huge issue, and plus I have the Pokemon that speed me is kind of an issue too. So that's why I'm going. And I also want to try to neuter that Milotic was kind of the idea. So that's why I have Trick on it for Trick Scarf for the Milotic. Volt Switch, Dazzling Gleam. The hope is that I could get like a surprise Dazzling Gleam off on like Rayquaza or like Great Tusk, or even like Mega Mewtwo Y to get some pressure on it. And then Heal Bell, of course, yeah, because I said like the status. And the last but not least, we got Brittany Steers, the Glamora. Very weird set, but it's like the best set I felt like would to come this game because I wanted removal in case they did end up bringing Charger Bug and Ferrothorn. Toxic is nice for the Ferrothorn, and Stealth is nice to chip down like Rayquaza, especially if it's Scarf or not like non-heavy dude boots at least. So that was something to keep in mind. Power Gem put in all that pressure, and then I have Toxic just to weaken things down like Melodic. So let's go into the match here. Um, I'm gonna lead off with Magirna, see if we get like any sort of viable information, especially since Ferrothorn isn't coming here. So they're gonna sub. They actually, even though I'm Scarf, they have to speed me. So and I don't break the sub, which is really scary. So I'm gonna go into Vaporeon and flip turn out to break the sub. They're gonna bring me down less than half, which is not good position for me to begin with. But I'm gonna get GU in. I'm gonna go for the Dark Pulse here. I'm gonna Terra too, and it's still not going to do enough. This is very Spidef Milotic, and it doesn't show an item yet, so we don't know exactly what it is, but this is going to be very Spidef, and I'm not going to be able to deal enough with it with Chiyu to Milotic. So I'm going to go into Vaporeon, as I believe I wish here, and I believe I go... oh, I sack off Vaporeon here. I guess I was expecting the Dragon Dance. Yeah, I was expecting the Dragon Dance, and I'm going to go into Glamora here. And I'm gonna go for a Toxic just to see if they. I thought they were gonna go into Milotic, but Great Tusk is a decent switch in for them too. I'm gonna hard Mewtwo as a rapid spin to try to get a speed boost, but I'm really bulky, so I should be able to take this. Is I'm gonna go for a Mega. I'm gonna double out. Yeah, I double into Glamora, and they're gonna double back into Great Tusk on the Wigglytuff. I'm gonna get Rocks up, and I'm gonna. This Toxic damage is gonna be really nice to chip him down. I probably should have gone for Rocks right there, to be honest, on the rapid spin again, but hindsight it is because Glamora is going to go down, and as we're not looking too great, at least Great Tusk is kind of weakened, but I've lost 2 Pokemon. I'm going to go into Mega Mewtwo X, and I'm just going to call mine as the Earthquake, and kind of wish I got up a Mega Evolved or got off a second Calm Mind because that would have been really clutch here, but I'm at 62%. They go to Wigglytuff here. I'm going to just Side Strike, get as much damage off as I can, as they show off Thunder Wave. So thank God we have Heal Bell on this, on the Magirna, as I take out the Wigglytuff, so meaning Mewtwo looking pretty good. I'm going to pivot out to Magirna here on the Dragon Ascent, as that does around half. So this shows to be Choice Band Rayquaza, a very interesting set to bring. It was pretty good for breaking, I guess, but I'm going to get the Heal Bell off, get rid of the statuses. I'm going to hard switch out into Chiyu, because I don't have another Mon to switch in there. Hard, because I don't want to get Zygarde Burn. And I'm scarfed into Heal Bell, so it's not the best position. I guess I could have gone Mewtwo, making Mewtwo X, and just recover off that. But in case they like Toxic or anything, I guess I felt like Chi was like not the Pokemon I cared the least about getting status. So I'm gonna go to Chi as I pivot back out into Magirna, as they crit me and burn me. Oh well, it is what it is. As I'm gonna Trick to get rid of the Scarf, as they are scarfed now into Scald. Scarf locked into Scald. I'm gonna go to Mewtwo, and I'm gonna Calm Mind here on this play as they go hard Rayquaza, and Side Strike just doesn't do enough. So that's what I was thinking about earlier. If I was kept spanning rocks against the Great Tusk, this would have been in range, and making Mewtwo could have actually swept at this end game too, which would have been really nice. But they kill me there, and I'm gonna go to Chi-Yu. I'm gonna Memento, I believe. Yeah, in hopes that Zyker could set up. Because I'm expecting, like, they showed Recover and Scald. I'm assuming they're like Haze and maybe Ice Beam probably for Zygarde complete. And since they're locked into Scarf, Haze isn't the best play, and at least I could get up a sub. And if it's Ice Beam, Zygarde 50 can deal with it pretty well if I get it up to complete form. But with the Scarf, it actually ends up outspeeding me by a few points. So they get this Toxic off, and that's pretty much game. I'm just gonna just try to get as much differential back as I can here at this point. Wasn't a great game on my part. DD played really well with it. DD played really well. They brought the right sets, but as you can see, even with the Quiver Dance, Zygarde, look at Zygarde taking out a Pokemon here, and now we're gonna get the complete form. So sad we got the Toxic off because it would have been really good otherwise. This match as they go to Mega Mewtwo Y. I'm gonna E-Speed, get off as much damage as I can as I 2 KO here, and they go for Ice Beam, and I'm just going to go for another Extreme Speed here at this point, because I'm getting another KO with Zygarde complete. Again, if I didn't get Toxic, this game would have been so much different, but they go into Rayquaza, and they Extreme Speed, and they take me out, and that is game 1. We end up losing to DD. Really well played, but we're going to have to bounce back next week. So, moving on to week 2, we are up against Kyle. Very interesting team from what I remember. They had some things that they didn't bring was like Bronzong and Muck, but their team consisted of Mega Garchomp, Ultra Cosmo, Porygon 2, Marshadow, Tapu Fini, Victini from what they brought. There was a lot of FAs that were made on the team, so I can't remember exactly the exact team they had on their team, but if you look in the left, again, you see the Magearna here with Trick Room, Dazzle Gleam, Shadow Ball, Calm Mind. Their Fairy Resist are Ghost Weak, so Magearna went really crazy. And also, by the way, they are Terra, Victini, and Porygon 2 is something to keep in mind. But yeah, Magearna looked really good this game. And it sets up pretty free on the Porygon 2, depending on the Terra type it is. Like if it's carrying Terra Blast, because the best it could do is like Para Magearna. But I thought this was a really good set here, especially with Trick Room too, because this thing's gonna outspeed everything on his team. So, in Trick Room, so that was something to keep in mind. Next we got Zygarde 50. Zygarde 50 becomes complete, right? Dragon Dance, Thousand Arrow, Substitute, Camouflage. The Camouflage is so that I could set up on the top of Fini if it doesn't have Haze, because Moonblast won't break sub if I become a normal or fairy if the Mystery Terrain is up. With Camouflage, normal is also really nice because of the fact that Marshadow then can't hit me with Spectral Thief to steal my stats, and his only ground resist, I believe, was Maractus actually, so that's something to keep in mind. Which is why I thought was going to be really good. I feel like Porygon 2 is probably going to be a Terra to check it, though, so I need to keep that in mind. But it'll definitely have Ice Beam, I think, at least. Then we got Chi-Yu here. Scarf, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Psychic, Overheat. I was almost originally Terra, normal Terra Blast. Terra Normal so that Shadow Sneak never hits me from Marshmallow, but also Terra Blast Normal, Terra Blast was going to hit the Tapu Fini pretty hard, was kind of the idea. But we went with this in case I wanted to tear my other Pokemon. I felt like this was a lot better in terms of with like the overall team, how it worked. But the idea is just like to chip down Tapu Fini pretty low, which Zygarde helps with, and Chi-Yu actually goes does actually pretty well if I'm able to chip down the Tapu Fini. Then we got Glamora, Focus Sash lead. Their Ground Poison was Muck, and their removal is Tapu Fini. So I want T-Spikes up this game 100% of the time. Sludge Wave, Dazzling Gleam, Stealth Toxic Spikes. I brought Toxic Spikes just in case they hit me with the special side. I want to make sure 100% of the time I get these T-Spikes up. But Stealth Rocks are really nice for hazards as well. And then Dazzling Gleam is just nice coverage to hit like some of those Pokemon, such as like Ultra Necrozma and Garchomp. Then we got Articuno, who making its debut this week. Terra Water, Roost, Freeze Dry, Whirlwind, U-Turn. Um, Terra Water was felt like the best way to help against like Victini was kind of the idea. It also helps against like Ultra Necrozma, Mega Garchomp, stuff like that. It's supposed to Whirlwind out and also top off any setup if it's not taunt. So that's something to keep in mind. But I felt like this was a really good set for it, and it was nice to get pivots into certain things. Was kind of the idea. Last but not least, we got offensive Mega Mewtwo with Nasty Plot, Side Strike, Shadow Ball, and Thunderbolt to hit as hard as possible. This thing is gonna hit like a truck, and I wanted to be able to hit his break his team down, especially that Tapu Fini was kind of the idea. So, and I couldn't really afford to have recover, I think, on this team because I needed the extra coverage. So this is what I end up going with. But yeah, let's get into the match here. As I'm gonna lead Glamora, they lead Mega Garchomp. I'm gonna Stealth Rock here, I believe. As they get off both T spikes off, which is really nice with this for me with Scale Shot. And they actually Mega here, which is kind of crazy. As they go for a spike, and Dazzling Gleam gets a crit, which is really unfortunate. But it might have actually been a roll if I remember correctly. It might have been a roll for 2 Dazzling Gleams, but that's still unfortunate because it's really low and T specs are up, so it's not going to do much. But it's at +1 speed. But the Earthquake, I don't know if they should have Mega Evolved, because if they are speedy Mega Garchomp, they actually might have outsped my Scarf Chi-Yu here. But I'm going to go with the Chi-Yu here as they get poisoned from the T spikes, which is really nice. And I'm going to get off a Psychic, do a good amount of damage. Now they're not going to be able to take 2 Psychics anymore on switching. So as I go into Articuno to save this, I believe I U-turn out on the taunt. Yeah, I believe I U-turn out on the taunt. T-Specs are going to probably be up to stay because of the fact that they haven't clicked Defog. And I believe I click Thunderbolt, just kill this thing. I didn't want anything to happen with shenanigans with me being lowered down to like my Shadow range, so they go into Ultra Necrozma. I'm going to fire off a Shadow Ball. I don't want this thing setting up. It's still very scary if it does get a setup, especially since the Articuno went down. Got weakened really easily, low. And it turns out Mewtwo actually ends up two-shotting Ultra Necrozma, which was really nice. And now Marshadow is Toxic, which is really clutch for the end game, especially if they're a setup set. But they go for a Shadow Sneak. And then close combat to finish it off, taking out my Articuno. I didn't really feel like I really didn't need it for this match at this point. I felt like the way the match is going, it was already at half. I didn't feel really confident in it, so I wanted to sack it off. And I want to go into Chi-Yu because now Chi-Yu looks amazing. I believe I Terra here on this play. Yeah, I Terra Dark, and I'm going to take out the Mega Garchomp there, which is really nice. As they go into Porygon 2, which it shows to be down, was interesting. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Let's see what the Terras they were. They were Terra Grass Victini and Terra Water Porygon 2. So that's something to keep in mind for this match. But they go for a Tri-Attack, and it does nothing, as you can see. I'm going to get up a Trick Room right now as they teleport out into Victini. And that takes hazards, so now we know that it's not heavy duty boots. I'm getting leftovers, and I'm actually going to go out to Mewtwo, I believe, at this point, because I want to scout what they're going for. If they're V-Create, if they go for V-Create, Magirna then should be able to take it out in the next turn. As they go for a Blue Fair, very interesting. They get a burn, not going to really matter too much, as I'm just going to fire off a Shadow Ball. But I'm dead anyway to Blue Fair. As I'm going to go to Zygarde complete here. And I believe I Camouflage here? Yeah, Camouflage to a normal type, which is really clutch. So they go for Glaciate, and I get the minus speed, but I'm getting leftovers, and I'm going to start Dragon Dancing. Oh, actually, 1,000 arrows. Yeah, sorry, I went for the 1,000 arrows because I didn't want Marshadow to... I didn't want anything coming in on this. I felt like blue... and they go for a Blue Flare. Going to be weakened down, but the reason was because I didn't want... I wanted Victini weakened because Victini weakened means Magirna wins pretty much this end game, which is kind of the idea. Also, Chi-Yu kind of goes crazy now, but I kind of wanted the weekend Victini. I didn't see Zygarde really as the option to beat the McGear. I don't think Zygarde complete was going to be able to beat both Porygon 2, Victini, and Marshall at this end. So I feel like it was the best scenario. As I actually um, go to complete, and something I did not know before now is that I actually go back to Dragon Ground as I go get my Power Construct, which Kyle actually doesn't know either because they go for Blue Fair, and I'm just gonna sub up here as they are going to die to Toxic. Very interesting to know. They go into Porygon 2 as I'm going to Thousand Arrows, get some damage off. I want to scout what they were going to go for. They go for Ice Beam right now. And I could sub up again, but I'm going to Camouflage in hopes that they click Ice Beam again. As they go for a Tri Attack, and they do snag a Burn, which really sucks because now we're in a really bad position in case they are set up Marshadow. As I go for 1,000 arrows, do like nothing. As they go into Marshadows, thank God this is on a timer with the Toxic from the T-Spikes. And they bulk up, and we are going to 1,000 arrows and just try to weaken it down as much as possible before Chiyu comes in. As they close combat, they go minus defense. I actually believe, I believe that like Migurta could have actually lived this hit possibly, but I want Chiyu just in case. And they bring me down pretty low, and we actually live, which is really clutch. And Chiyu is able to clean up this end game here, which is really clutch for us. Terra Dark Chiyu doing what it needs to do. Yeah, very interesting end game. Now we're here for week 3. We are up against Nashaba, or Nash, or as some of the people who know, we are the Ash Gang, from the if you know from the BPL server. But their team very scary. I believe they had Xerneas, Shaman Sky. I believe they had. Let me just double check. They made any. Um, They had Xerneas, Shaman Sky, Garchomp, Keldeo, Uxie, Giratina, Origin, Chinchino, and then they also had Heatran. They had Quagsire. No, they didn't have Quagsire. Sorry. They had Skuntank. They had Masquerain. Yeah, I believe that was it. Sorry. They made some transactions, but yeah, their Terra captains were Garchomp and Chinchino, which is really interesting, something to note in this game. But if you look on the side over here, you can see what we end up bringing. We got Mega Mewtwo, Nasty Ball, Nasty Plot, Side Strike, Shadow Ball, Earth Power. We want a breaking set kind of again, especially with Uxie right there. This kind of idea. Then we got Migurina, a very weird set. Volt Switch, Iron Head, Dazzle Gleam, Ice Beam. So now Xerneas is actually allowed to Geomancy in this league. So that's kind of why I have this Migurina set sort of thing. It's also here for Shaman Sky. I was originally going to be Covert Cloak for like Earth Power or Air Slash of shenanigans, but I went with the Assault Vest just to help more against the Xerneas because that could get out of control. We got Zygarde complete, Extreme Speed, 1,000 arrows, substitute Giant Dance. Just went offensive because I felt like I wanted to break down things like Uxie. And Extreme Speed is really going to be really nice for like things like Shaman Sky or setup Scale Shot Garchomp. Then we got Glamora, Focus Sash lead. I wanted to get this as a lead because I wanted spikes. I wanted Stealth Rocks up this game, especially with Shaman Sky being there. But I also wanted the removal option too. You'll see in a second why I want that. But Sludge Wave, Earth Power. Earth Power was there for the Heatran. That did not come, but it was a really it was I wanted to weaken it on Heatran a little bit, and Sludge Wave of course for coverage. But yeah. We got Vaporeon, Wish, Warp, Alluring Voice, Flip Turn. I couldn't figure out what like set I wanted to go with. So this is the set I went with. I had 4 move slot syndrome this week, so I didn't go with Protect. I felt like Roar and Alluring Voice were really important in case of depending on what kind of Keldeo set they brought. But I also really wanted momentum, and I felt like Wish into Zygarde was going to be really clutch this game. So, or like Flip turning out into like, you'll see in the second another Mon, but yeah, that's kind of why I wanted it. Roar is better for taunt. Keldeo, but Alluring Voice. Um, Roar is better for Calm Mind Keldeo without taunt, but Alluring Voice is better for Keldeo with taunt. So that was kind of the situation. Alluring Voice is also nice. Roar is really nice for Zerny, so it can't tap on me was another idea. So, especially with me getting Rock Step, that would be really clutch with like roaring things around though. And last but not least, we got Chiyu, who is is kind of our wing con this game. Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, Terra Fairy, Flame Charge with the Air Balloon. The idea is I want to get a flame charge. I want to get this in on Uxie. That's kind of the big idea, to get this in on Uxie. Nasty Plot up on the switch out, because I'm assuming they're switching out. And then flame charge on whatever one that wants to come in. I actually, if they're not running coverage on Garchomp, we actually wall their stabs if my air balloon is still there. If I Terra, Heatran also can't really do too much to me too, is another thing. But yeah, that's the kind of the win con. But let's go into the game. I'm going to lead off Gomora, of course, again. And they actually missed the air slash. So they're going for a flinch to get the earth power off, which sucks for them as they don't get the flinch either turn 2. So I just... Shaman Sky's dead, which is incredible for us. But they go for a scale shot on me to try to get as much as possible, get the speed boost on, which it would be really nice for them. But they do kill the Glomar, which is nice, but I'm going to go out for Vaporeon. They actually Terra Water to show that they're Terra Water, and I'm just going to roar this out at this point. And I'm going to get the poison off on the Keldeo, which is so clutch. So we're in a really good position to begin with. They go for a Secret Sword as I just wish up, and I believe I Alluring Voice? Yeah, Alluring Voice. And I'm back up to recovery-wise. I'm going to Alluring Voice again, expecting to tidy up because I feel like it was definitely coming with the hazards up on this field, and that was probably their best removal option. The only thing that didn't get poisoned that I wanted it to was Xerneas anyway, so I feel like we're in a good position. But I'm going to Alluring Voice, get the Confusion, which is really clutch, and they're down to 1%, and I believe I end up wishing? Yeah, on the kill. So I end up wishing because they were going to die anyway from the poison damage, even if they confused themselves or not. So wish to get myself up to as much as possible would be really clutch this game. They actually bring up Uxie, and I'm going to flip turn out on the Stealth Rocks coming out, and I'm going to go into Chiyu because this is where my end game was. And we know it's really clutch. The Wish is going to bring me back up to full, so the rocks are not going to matter. As I'm going to Nasty Plot up as they go into Keldeo. Very interesting. And I'm going to Terra because I live every hit from Keldeo if I Terra here at this point. As they go for the Hydro Pump, I'm taking a guess they're not Scarf this game because if they are Scarf, that's crazy against me, but especially with the Vaporeon here. But if they are, this was a hell of a misplay. But I'm going to Flame Charge up, try to get the kills off with Chiyu as I get the Terra Blast off, and they show not to be Scarf. So at this point, I'm faster than Scarf Xerneas. I killed that. And at this point, this is a Rasp because this thing also dies to Terra Blast, and then Uxie dies to Dark Pulse at the end. So Chiyu coming out clutch. Everybody's saying that it's a fraud, but Chiyu's been a monster for us already, so that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, that is week 3 right here. Here we are for week 4. We are up against Ultra Player, who's got a monstrous team. They got Eternatus, Lunala, Terra King Gambit, Megalopony, Togekiss, Savali, Torterra, Mesprit, Electabuzz, and Metang. I knew going into this match that Lunala was going to be Scarf against me because of Omega B2X. But yeah, here on the side, you'll see the sets again. We got Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Flamethrower. Very fast invested because I wanted to speed tie the Eternatus if it's max speed. This set is really good this game as long as I'm able to deal with that Lunala and the Mesprit were the big things. What's something also nice is that I'm actually steadfast when I Mega Evolve, so if they fake out with Megalopony, I get a speed boost, and that's going to be even better for me. But then we got Zygarde, complete Giant Dance, Thousand Arrow, Skitter Smack, Substitute. I went with a very offensive set. I just want a Skitter Smack to hit Torterra as hard as possible, but it's also pretty clutch in terms of lowering the special attack. So something like Mesprit might not be able to break my sub otherwise, maybe. Or something like that would be really cool. That was kind of the idea here. Then we got making its debut. Did I not name it the other name? Oh, well, that's weird. We got Greedent with the lychee berry cheek pouch, stuffed cheeks, knockoff earthquake gyro ball. This thing actually can go crazy this game, because of the fact that once I get the if I stuff cheeks, I get the attack boost, and I believe I also get a defense boost because of stuffed cheeks. And the coverage actually is able to do a lot against him. Like get two shots everything if I get the lychee berry off, which is really clutch. And we got Maguna here, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Aura's Restored Power. Fast set with some like a lot of Fizz Def investment. This is meant to set up on the Eternatus because Flamethrower or proc my weakness policy. I have enough speed to outspeed Torterra, and this is gonna do a lot. I feel like this is gonna do a lot this game, but we'll see. Um, yeah, that's kind of idea. It's also helps against the Kingambit was the kind of idea too. Then we got Chi-Yu, Choice Scarf, again, Terra Dark, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Psychic, Memento to get something like Magearna, Zygarde, or maybe making me 2X, or Greedent actually to set up. And last but not least, we got a Custap Berry Glimora, Spikes, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Endure. I was going Custap because of the fact that Torterra. I wanted two ways to deal with Torterra. First off, Chi-Yu outspeeds Torterra after a Shelf Smash, which is really clutch. And the other thing is this is to hit it down. They endure on the hit, get T spikes up also, and get the Custap to get off as much damage as I can as possible on it. So that would be really clutch. But yeah, let's go into the game. They bring Eternatus, Kingambit, and Terra Water Kingambit, Lunala, Megalopony, Terra Water, Torterra, and Mesprit. I'm going to lead off with Mewtwo. I want to get this Mega Evolution off right away so it can be an answer to Megalopony. As they actually lead Megalopony, and I'm going to just Mega here. And they fake out. So I get the Steadfast right away, which is really nice. But I don't have enough breaking power yet this game to deal with it. So I actually Calm Mind here. So I'm going to switch out to Glimora to see what they wanted to go for with Mesprit, with like if there was status or something like that. But they go for Encore, very interesting because I could have Flamethrowered and done so much to this. I actually could have been in a really good position if I just stayed in Flamethrower. But I'm going to get up Spikes as they get Rocks up. I'm going to Spike again as they show to be Psyshock. So I actually, funny enough, if they show like they actually have a really good Mesprit against me. My team doesn't really deal with it too well at this point. As I'm going to go into Greedent as they Thunder Wave. I'm going to go for a knockoff on this turn to get off whatever item they want to go for. I don't think it's Stuffed Cheeks is worth it at this point. At this moment right now. But really cool is that Thunder Wave actually boosted my Gyro Ball. But they're going to go for a Side Shock. I get paired, which sucks. As they Side Shock again. And I get this. I go for the Stuffed Cheeks. Very much a choke play. I clicked knock off the first turn, went for Stuffed Cheeks the second turn in case they, because I felt like there was no other. I wanted some recovery on the Side Shock, but it didn't end up working out that way. And funny enough, actually, Greedent actually lives close combat, by the way, with the set, but pretty decently well from Megalopony. But yeah, now the Stuffed Cheeks, and I forgot that he was Encore, which is really bad for me. They just Encore me, as you could see, and now we're in a really bad position. So I'm just gonna struggle weaken this down. If I got the knockoff off, no, it would have been nice to know the item though. As you'll see in a second why that would be really important. But I struggle again, and I die there. I got the Chi-Yu here, and you're gonna see why the knockoff, the first pair was really brutal because I Terra Dark, Dark Pulse. They showed to be Cobra. That wouldn't have been an issue. But they Thunder Wave me, and now Chi-Yu is not an answer to Torterra. So now we're in a really bad position because of the pair early on. They go up to Megalopony, and I'm just going to sack Chi-Yu. I had no reason to keep it around at this point because of the fact that it's outsped by most of his team, other than Kingambit and Torterra. So, yeah. I'm going to make him be 2X. They go for a triple axle, very interesting. So they show up to be fake out, close combat triple axle. I'm going to flamethrower, get some damage off, as I believe I recover here on this hit. As I actually live there, they hit all three triple axes in both. As they go out to show to not be heavy duty boots, so the Shadow Shield is broken. I'm going to go hard into Zygarde not sure what to see on with this set, as they do 48% with Moongeist Beam. Unfortunately, with the leftovers, it actually brings me outside of father range, but it's okay, as I'm going to Dragon Dance up. Um, they don't show to be any boosting on him, though, which is really nice, at least. But I'm going to Skitter Smack on this Torterra here, get off a lot of damage, and I get the special attack drop, as they Iron Defense up. So they are going to be the Iron Defense Shell Armor set, which is going to suck, but I'm weakening them down, as they're going for Iron Defense again, and I'm going to hold hard into Glamora on the because I actually have Cussed Up Berry right now. I'm in range of Cussed Up, as they show Rest, which sucks. I'm just going to another Spike Up, see what I want to do, is I'm just going to Sludge Wave, get some damage off. Probably should have Sludge Wave twice, but I didn't know what to expect. I thought Sleep Talk was going to be likely, as I Endure, expecting the the hit, but it doesn't, and they go for an Amnesia here, so we're in a really bad position. But at this point, they must be Body Press, which is crazy, because I actually almost had Decidueye on this team originally, which would have walled the set completely. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. They get to plus 6/+6 on both defenses, so we're just sitting here as they rest, and I'm going to go out to Mega Mewtwo X here, because Body Press, actually looking at the calc, does not do a lot to my Mega Mewtwo X, and I'm just going to start setting up in their face. And after they're going to show the Body Press here. Look at, I eat that. I'm chewing. I'm going to call mine again, as they go for another Body Press, and I'm just going to recover that off, which is really nice. As they go into Lunala, the spikes are doing a lot here, which is really nice. As I believe I sack off Glamore at this point, living on 1. As they Poltergeist, crazy. So my item being gone was really clutch, because they actually showed to be Poltergeist, which is their way probably to deal with Mega Mewtwo X, if I'm Calm Mind. So kind of a crazy play, as I get a free Earth Power off here on the Eternatus, which is really clutch to bring this thing low, as they kill me here with Dynamax Cannon. Very interesting. I'm going to go to Magearna. That was my plan to begin with, and I'm going to go for a Calm Mind here. As they go into Kingambit, I believe they actually end up showing to be Mirror Herb, which is really interesting. I don't know exactly what that was for. Maybe for Zygarde, maybe, was kind of the idea. But I'm going to Calm Mind again, as they Terra Water here, and they SD. So now they're really interesting set. They're at +1 Spadef special attack and SD up, and they have Fallen 1. I'm just going to Stored Power. I do over half. And I kind of over predict here. Well, actually, no, I don't over predict. I clicked Draining Kiss because I thought I would KO here, but I don't. It was a roll. And I missed down the roll, and they actually kill me with Terra Blast, so meaning I'm in a really bad position, because now Zygarde here. I'm predicting the Sucker Punch, but I also get down to I get Zygarde complete here, which is really nice, as they Kowtow Cleave, and I get some recovery off, and I'm just going to sub again, predicting the Sucker, but they're not going to let me do that, as I'm just going to, I think at this point I just got to kill this thing. I'm under half, which sucks, but now I'm above half, but I made some misplays with that. As they go into Eternatus, they're at 4 HP. As I sack off my Zygarde, and my only hope now is Mega Mewtwo X. And I need to get this outside of range of the Lunala at this point. So I'm going to Calm Mine up, hoping they stay in here, as I show to be faster. And I'm going to get I'm going to get a recovery off here. And this is where it's going to come in crazy, because basically I need to be at enough health after the Lopunny hit to take the Poltergeist from the Lunala. So they triple Axle. I believe I Calm Mind up again, and now at this point I should be able to take everything out here, but I need to keep myself enough health. They show to be Retaliate, which is really interesting, because if they had returned, they were in a lot better position, but they keep clicking Retaliate. I'm going to get up to full, and I'm going to try to play this game of see where I fall along this. Actually, I don't even play the game. I get the Flamethrower off. I actually have one more recover. That's why. Okay. I got one more recover off. I'm at 70%. As they go on to Lunala, and they are going to be dead to a Flamethrower, so this is just a matter of if they get the roll or not. Turns out the roll is actually in my favor at this point to live. Let me pull up I believe I have the exact... Let me see if I find it. Post game. Yeah, let me see. This was around January 31st. So it was a 43.8% chance to Oko with the set. We did the calcs after the match, just to make sure. But yeah, I take the Porter guys. I live on 2%, going crazy, and Mega 2X kills the Lunala. Only thing I could deal with it right now, I'm just gonna recover. Use my last recovery here. Zay body press does nothing, and I'm just gonna. I believe I flamethrower here, and kill this thing. And I'm Eternus dies to spikes. So, making Mewtwo X showing what it does best. Clutching up the end game for us. I believe it got 5 kill. Actually 4 because of the spikes with the Eternus. But Mega Mewtwo X doing what it does best. What a Pokemon, crazy Pokemon. But yeah, let's go on to week 5. So now we're on to week 5. We're up against the homie M Dragon. I've played him a lot before. He's the homie. Love the guy. But yeah, he actually has a really good matchup against me. Fluttermane is so scary against my team. It really puts a lot of pressure on Mega Mewtwo X. Was kind of the big scary part because Shadow Ball and Moonblast hit it really hard. And there's also Chien Pao. Well, Chien Pao doesn't have like the best matchup, but it's nice for putting pressure. But the big thing, I guess, is Hisuian Lilligant's very scary, and of course the big one, I guess, the big two are the Groudon and the Latios, the Terra Latios. Let's go over the team real quick. And I actually made some transactions right before this week. But let me go over the team real quick. M Dragon's team consists of, where is it? Groudon, Fluttermane, Chien Pao, Terra Latios, Empoleon, Slowbro, Overqwil, Carkle, Altaria, and Hisuian Lilligant. Our team, we actually made some transactions. Oh, did I not switch this out? Oops. Sorry about that. We're just going to roll with it, though. Our team switched up where I decided I was throwing stuff around, by the way. I was actually dealing N-Dragon about like some transactions. I was like straight up like considering grabbing Grookey and like running like Terra Drifblim as my low tier. But I decided to go with a more sensible option. I dropped the Sidgewai, I dropped Terra Articuno, and I drafted the Lone Dug Trio, and I picked up Delamize, I picked up Terra Scyther, and I picked up Basculin. I thought Basculin was a really cool pick for 2 points because of Last Respects is technically allowed on it, right? Because it has a White Stripe has it, and it could be a bulky Evilite user. But the big thing I think was like Scyther and Delamize. I wanted better ground switch-ins. Was another thing I guess against for my team. My ground resists weren't that great. But Terra Scyther I felt like fits like the speed tier I was kind of looking for. And it's really good fast pivot. But the big thing I wanted was a Pursuit Trapper because I wanted a Pursuit Trapper for Mega Mewtwo X to make that do as well as possible. But unfortunately, none of the transactions came this week. So, yeah, here we go. We're going to start off with the team. We got Chiyu, Terra Dark, Choice Scarf, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Overheat, Memento. It's going to hit really hard. They're teaming with Terra Dark because of the Latios to hit that even harder, and the Slowbro, stuff like that. I wanted to hit as hard. And the big thing was actually Altaria. I wanted to hit Terra Dark. I want to hit harder with on Altaria in this game. And I felt like Flamethrower and Overheat were already boosted enough with the fire. So I felt like that was a little bit better, but yeah, then we got Mega Mewtwo X Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Thunderbolt. I believe after +1, I don't die to non-boosting item Fluttermane, and then at +2 I don't die from specs. I believe is how it worked. I also put as much investment as I can to afford to helping into Groudon, and Thunderbolt. I felt like Thunderbolt was pretty good because they had Empoleon and Slowbro was kind of the idea, but I really wanted like Earth Power or something like that, but I felt like I wanted to hit Slowbro even harder because I felt like Slowbro was 100% coming this game. So then we got Magearna here. Fizz Death, this is here to help with the Chien Pao and the Hisuian Lilligant, Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Volt Switch. I just wanted to volt things or get some switch-ins to get some pivoting kind of thing, hit a little bit hard. This thing actually does hit their team decently hard, right? They don't switch in too well to this moveset, so that was something to keep in mind. Then we got Vaporeon, Wish, Protect, Roar flip turn. This is my very Svidef Vaporeon to handle the Flutter Mane. This was the best way I felt like I could handle both Chienpao and Flutter Mane because Magearna would be too heavily pressured and Mystical Fire would be doing too much in Sun to it. So I felt like Magearna would be forced more. I felt it was better for a Fizz Def answer. Vaporeon was better for a Spadef answer, especially can help with Latios as well. But yeah, I wanted to roar things around was kind of the idea, and flip turn out to get momentum on like things like what I expect to come in was like Hisuian Lilligant and stuff like that. Then we got Gamora Focus Sash Lead, Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, Solar Beam Spikes. I wanted the Solar Beam for the Groudon was kind of the idea, to hit that as hard as I can because I expect Sun to be a prevalent part of this match. And I wanted Spikes this game to weaken down certain things to get them in range of Mega Mewtwo X. And you'll see in a second this Pokemon here, Zygarde Complete. Dragon Dance, 1,000 Arrows, Extreme Speed Crunch. It is meant for the Slowbro. Like, that's what the weakness policy is for, but it didn't even come. So, like, now I'm in a position where I need to figure out what I want to try to use this on. I don't think there's going to be really a good option to use the weakness policy on, so I'm just going to have to try to hit it as hard as possible at this point. But yeah, let's go into the match as I'm going to lead Gamora, and they actually end up leading Latios. And actually, let me show the Terras. They end up being Terra Dark, Terra Ground Latios, and they end up being Terra Rock Overcoat, which is really interesting. So I'm going to go straight into Vaporeon on the Latios on the lead, and they show to be Life Orb, so this is not great. I'm going to protect, try to get some as much recovery as possible, especially since they got this Spadef drop. As I'm going to Wish here, and they get another Spadef drop, which is going to be so brutal for us. And I'm going to protect, get up as much health as possible, and I believe at this point I'm going to pivot out into the Mewtwo here, especially since I haven't Mega'd yet. I'm going to take this pretty well, as they actually Terra Ground and Terra Blast, expecting the Magearna. Good brain. That makes a lot of sense against my team, as I'm just going to recover off here. As they go to Overquill, I'm going to go hard into Magearna, predicting like Barbarage. I don't want this thing toxic. As they show up to be Spikes, I'm going to go for Ice Beam, predicting the Groudon to come in, but they don't bring it, and I actually do it, bringing the Groudon hard now on the Flash Cannon prediction. As they double out into Hisuian Lilligant, I'm going Zygarde, because I was going to use that to try to get my boost up, and I'm going to switch back into Magearna because I'm scared of a triple axle, because I'm assuming this is like Chlorophyll, not Hustle. As they sub, crazy. They go for close combat, get a crit, which does suck, but it is what it is. As I get an Ice Beam off here, and I'm going to get some recovery off, but they're not doing enough to me, so I'm going to go for, I believe, a Ice Beam again, expecting Groudon, and we're in a situation where I'm going to get a kill here, but they have all three layers of spikes up. I'm at like 65% of this. I'm at 84 here. We're not in a great position right now, to be honest. They go out to Groudon here, as I am going to hard Zygarde here, try to get the complete, which I do because I live on 3% early clutch, as I get up to 40%, which is nice. I'm gonna Dragon Dance up here, and they go Hisuian Lilligant. I'm just gonna I believe Extreme Speed here, get up as much damage as possible, as they Victory Dance, kind of crazy, and that means that they probably don't have coverage for me, because they already showed close combat. They show Leaf Blade here, and it doesn't actually kill, and I get to take this thing out with Extreme Speed, which is really clutch. They go on to Groudon, very interesting. I think it was supposed to be to get up the Flutter Mane Sun, or they didn't want to take an Extreme Speed, was kind of the idea, but they actually showed to be Scarf, so that sucks. I could have gotten Extreme Speed off, but I guess it's good to know that now. I'm going to go to my Scarf to you, and I believe I Flamethrower here and just get a kill right now, because Sun's up. It's going to do too much for comfort. They go into Flutter Mane, and I actually go out into Glamora because I didn't want to take the Spikes damage with Vaporeon, as it shows that Moonblast two-shots me. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is a resist. But, well, I guess with Spikes up, right? But still, 47%, that's crazy. Glamora goes down, though, so that kind of sucks for like getting hazards up. So they go hard Chienpao on the Vaporeon. I go Wish into Magearna. I actually live on 1%, but that actually wouldn't have mattered if the crit didn't happen earlier. But it is what it is. We get the myself in a decent health, right? And I double out to Mewtwo, because I know for a fact that is a choice band Champow at that point. I go into Mewtwo, and I'm going to just Mega Evolve and hit this as hard as possible. They show Precious Blade, meaning their Earthquake Precious Blade Scarf. I'm going to Side Strike, get as much damage off as I can, and give me 2x goes down. I'm going to Chi-Yu here, and I'm just going to Flamethrower kill this thing. But now we're in a situation where we're in a really weird position, right? Because right now, Moonblast actually takes me out here. Vaporeon doesn't take 2 Moonblast right now. So this is going to be like a crazy endgame. Magearna, I need health. I need for Chiempo at this point. So I'm not entirely sure what to do. I'm going to sack off Vaporeon here because my idea was that if I could get a Terra, my idea is I sack off Vaporeon here. This should bring it outside of the sun, right? And the big thing is that what's crazy, by the way, the Shadow Ball, by the way, because Chi-Yu actually lived that, and I'm Terra Dark, so it made sense if they thought Magearna was switching in here. But the big thing is that I thought, right, so if I get the roll with Terra, Fire, Overheat on Flutter Mane, I think I can win this game, because if that's the case, then Chiempow dies to Overheat, and he can't lock into Sacred Sword and Ice Shard / Sucker Punch and be able to beat the combination of Scarf, Terra, Chi-Yu, and Magearna Fizdef. So that was kind of the idea. They Shadow Ball, kill my Vaporeon. I am at 26% now, and I'm going to just Overheat. I'm not Terrified, I'm Terra Dark, as you remember, and I don't get the roll. I believe the roll was in their favor, though, anyway, so they kill me a Shadow Ball, and at this point we are not looking great as Flutter Mane just cleans up here. We end up losing this week to M-Dragon, so it is what it is. Unfortunate, but they played well. They brought the right set. They played very well against me, so yeah. So now for week number 6, we are up against It's Whatever, whose team consists of Zacian, Reshiram, Mega Scizor, Terra, Necrozma, Zarude, Swampert, Terra, Yanmega, Hitmontop, Bellibolt, and Ice Cube. And their team is scary. And as you can see, we are bringing debut for one of our Pokemon, Scyther here, over here on the left. We got Terra Poison, Dual Wing Beat, Bug Bite, Swords Dance, Roost. This thing goes crazy if Bellibolt isn't here. But even then, Bug Bite does so much. I just got to worry about the static. But I didn't think Bellibolt was going to come, really, against Zygarde Complete was kind of the idea. But yeah, that's where we're going with. This thing goes crazy. Terra Poison is just there to help against, like, help prevent Zacian from revenging me kind of thing. Then we got Magearna here. Max defensive situation because of Zacian there. Volt Switch, Flash Cannon, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball. Then we got Glamora, Sash, Sludge Wave, Power Gem, Memento, Spikes. So the idea, because I thought Mega Scizor was going to come, I was going to get Spikes up. I wanted Spikes up this game. And I was going to Memento on the Defog was kind of the idea. Or if they Bull Punch first and then Defog, I was expecting them to... that would mean that Memento would go off. They wouldn't be able to defog the Spikes away, or the T-Spikes. That could be really clutch. I could get into this Mon here, making me 2x because I have Flamethrower for it. And that would destroy it. Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Flamethrower. Very Fizz Def. This is so that I actually can take a hit from Zacian if it's not banded with this, I believe, set. And I believe if he's not banded, I actually take 2 play roughs when I'm not Mega'd. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, and then we got Zygarde Complete here. Dragon Dance, Thousand Arrows, Extreme Speed, Substitute. I needed sub, I think, for Bellibolt was kind of the idea. But this thing could do pretty well this game. Just got to weaken some things down for it. And then last but not least, we got Wish, Protect, Roar, Flip Turn, Vaporeon again, Sassy Nature to get like the momentum with the flip turns. So the slow pivot. So yeah, we're gonna lead off with Glamora here as they go for Yanmega, and they Air Slash miss, which actually is really brutal for them. As I get a Spike up, and it does a lot. They show to be specs, which that miss really sucks then because I didn't have the best switch into it. I get a Power Gem off and kill it, so that miss really does suck a lot for them. But it is Pokemon, but yeah, it does really suck. I'm gonna go out to. I'm gonna keep spiking up as they go for Earthquake. So that means T spikes get up too, which is really good. And I'm just going to go into Scyther, and I'm just gonna SD up right now in their face. I don't think they have rock coverage for this. They show to be knockoff, so they knock off my Evilite, which is fine. And I am dual wing beating to kill it. The Yon Mega right there. As they go with the Belly Bolt, and they get poison, which is clutch. And I'm just gonna Terra Poison, and I'm gonna SD again. As they discharge, and I don't get parried, which is clutch. Bug Bite now should be able to take it out here, but they get the static, so it is what it is. They go into restaurant, show the B booties, and they kill the Scyther. Scyther doing what it, Scyther doing decently well with taking out Swampert and Belly Bolt, which is nice, but that's kind of unfortunate. And I'm gonna go to Zygarde, and I'm gonna sub up actually. I'm predicting the switch out into Necrozma as they defog. And I'm going to Dragon Dance up, expecting to switch again, and they don't switch. And you'll see in a second, something bad is going to happen in a little bit. But I'm going to sub up, and I wanted to get the Father Form was kind of idea, and I misclicked and clicked Dragon Dance, and I died. So that was a really bad situation. I wanted to get the Zyker complete, but I messed up and misclicked and clicked Dragon Dance instead of sub again. So we're in a bad position, but I'm going to Mega Mewtwo X, and I'm not going to Mega Evolve yet. I'm just going to Calm Mind. They actually blissed Blue Fire, but that actually doesn't do that much. Is I'm going to Calm Mind again, and look, it's not doing much at all. I'm going to keep Calm Minding up, and Blue Fire does not do much to me. As I get a free recover off here, and I'm just going to Flamethrower and do so much to them, as they show to be Calm Mind too. At this point, Mewtwo should be able to sweep, as they go for Terra Fairy, and it dies anyway, and Reshiram comes out. I'm going to just Side Strike, I believe, on this, just take this thing out, and last but not least, Zacian, and I'm just going to Side Strike it as a SD, trying to play for the choke. But yeah, Mega Mewtwo X going crazy this game. So yeah. Now we're on to the last game of the season, of the regular season. Week 7 was actually a forfeit win. Me McGee wasn't responding at all, so I ended up taking the forfeit win over that, which actually ended up clinching us playoffs. So this game actually doesn't matter. So I kind of wanted to bring some interesting stats. I want to make sure I got everybody on the board. So that meant Basculin was coming, Delamize was coming. Even though I was actually going to bring Delamize against PC McGee, but oh well. But Luke's team, her team, very scary by the way, consists of Zekrom, Solgaleo, Mega Gengar, Landorus, Terra, Hisuian Samurott, Diggersby, Terra, Aromatisse, Cutiefly, Dodrio, and Tropius. So if you look on the left again, you can see what we're bringing. We got Scarf Scyther with Terra Bug, U-Turn, Dual and Beat, Pursuit, Bug Bait. I want to Pursuit Trap the Mega Gengar was kind of the idea with the set, and I felt like Terra Bug was the best way to pivot around, because I was going to use this to pivot around and hit their team as much as possible. It's really, I thought it was best to hit Terra Bug against like things like Solgaleo, but here we got Mega Mewtwo X, Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Earth Power. It's gonna do. I think it's gonna do work at least, but I need to either get enough Calm Minds off first, or get rid of the Mega Mewtwo X. But this thing can do a lot of work this game if I'm able to do that. Then we got Zygarde complete Dragon Dance, Thousand Arrows, Skitter Smack substitute. Skitter Smack is for the Aromatisse, because then if the special attack drops, then they can't break my sub. But it's also to hit that hard or Lander T hard, because I expect one of them to be Terra Grass, I think, this game. For that Zygarde complete was kind of the idea. But yeah, that's what we're working with Zygarde complete. Then we got Delamize here making its debut. Power Whip, Earthquake, Rapid Spin, Synthesis, Cobra Berry. Cobra Berry is for the Lando T. It's for the Solgaleo, for Hisuian Samurott, for Diggersby. It's very Fizz Def invested, but it has enough investment, so a 2-shot Zekrom with Earthquake was kind of the idea. From what I predicted the investment would be for Earthquake. But then we got Glimmora here, Sash, Power Gem, Earth Power, Stealth Rock, Spikes, lead. I wanted to get off as much damage as I can because after Stealth Walks, with Stealth Walks up, that means Scyther 100% takes Mega Gungar out with Pursuit if it switches out, so that's really clutch. And last but not least, we got Basculin, White Stripes with Rattled. With the Eviolite Liquidation, Last Respect's Agility Substitute, I was hoping to get this in the end game maybe if things don't work out, but definitely wanted to see the Basculin in this game. So let's go into the game. We go into Glamora, and they go into Lando T. I'm just going to get my rocks up this game because I want them up, and they go for a T-Spikes. As I'm going to go out to Dolomise, predicting the Defog in case they wanted to keep get rid of the hazards, and I wanted to keep Glamora around still. As they go into, as I go into Dolomise, I go for the power up, and they go hard in Mega Gengar, which is crazy. And I'm gonna make it even crazier play and go straight into Scyther on the Mega Gengar, and they actually substitute, which means Dual Wing Bee is perfect for this. I'm gonna Terra Bug, so I don't take as much from rocks, and I kill the Mega Gengar here. As you remember, I didn't bring Terra Chiyu this game because I decided I wanted to Terra the Scyther this game. But they go into Zekrom here, and I'm locked into Dual Wing Bee, so I gotta switch out. I'm gonna go hard at Glamora. They Dragon Dance up, and they kill me. I get the T-Spikes up, which is really good because T-Spikes are out here to stay unless they're Dragon Defog, Lando, or Zekrom. As they Dragon Dance again, and I'm going to Earthquake, and they procs the weakness policy. So, yikes. Dolomise goes down. At this point, we're getting clean swept. The only thing I could hope for is that maybe Scyther maybe because they're so bulky, the Scyther outspeeds, but it definitely doesn't. And we get wrecked the last week of the regular season, but that's fine because we're already in playoffs. And we got some good scouting information because now I know what to do if I have to play Sherlock again in playoffs of what I kind of want to, the game plan at least for what I want to do for it is. So, yeah. Now we're going to go move on to playoffs. So we ended up in the 5th seed out of 8 seeds, which meant we end up having to play our homie Smotty Poo, Smot, and the first round of playoffs, which was somebody I did and didn't want to play in the first round because I actually I wanted to play Smot, right, because he's the homie, right, but I didn't want to play him first round. I wanted to play him like later on. Well, the goal was finals probably or semifinals, but unfortunately we got first round against him. So, and his team is terrifying. His team consists of Calyrex Ice, Mega Blaziken, Terra Darkrai, Rotom Wash, Scizor, Gligar, Galarian Weezing, Hisuian Zoroark, Morgrem, and Terra Alolan Executor. Now, look on the left again. This is the team we're playing. We are starting off with Mega Mewtwo X. Kind of a little bulky, kind of a little offensive set. Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Flamethrower, really good against the team. Kind of hoping to set it up. Can set up on the Darkrai actually, so which is really nice. Then we got Choice Scarf, Terrifier, Chiyu. Really good this game. Their only fire switch, well, their only switching really is to fire is Mega Blaziken and Rotom Wash, which both of them don't. Well, Mega Blaziken's not really a switch in, but Rotom Wash is going to be heavily pressured, I think, this game, which is the hope. And Dark Pulse still does a lot to him. I'm also modest to get as much damage out to play as possible. I didn't think I needed the speed for Mega Blaziken to speed tie it. So next we got Zygarde, we got Dragon Dance, Thousand Arrows, Camouflage, and Substitute. This is my Mega Blaziken answer. And on top of it, I'm running Camouflage to possibly use it against the Calyrex Ice because if I started setting up and they bring it in, I could Camouflage and it's not going to do that much to me, which is really nice. But this could put on a lot of pressure on their team. Then we got Magearna here, Iron Defense, Draining Kiss, Flash Cannon, Calm Mind. Kind of a weird set, but it is meant for the Calyrex Ice. I don't think I 1v1 it, to be honest, but it's just to help slow it down because it's actually so scary to deal with. That Pokemon is definitely the Pokemon I'm scared of the most, but it's just a way to give me a way to like try to slow it down at least. And like if I am able to get this set up early, I could this could actually do really well if I with like Mega Blaziken only really being the best way to answer this. Then we are bringing Choice Specs Glamora. We're a really bulky set actually. We have 208 HP because of the speed tiers, but um, Power Gem, Energy Ball, Mortal Spin, and Stealth Rex. I literally didn't need really any other move other than Power Gem. Technically, I guess I get about removal, right? But um, they have no rock resist. I believe at the team, right? So Mega Blaziken, the fighting type, right? Neutral. Scizor neutral with steel. Gligar neutral with the ground with flying, right? So I feel like this was going to be a really good way to break open the team, which makes Chiyu so much better for this game. Plan is to lead this, and I'm hoping I can actually weaken that Rotom Wash so I could just become really spammable with Flamethrower with Chiyu. Um, but yeah, Mortal Spin, nice for getting removal. Stealth are pretty nice this game too, so if I happen to be able to get up rocks, it's nice, but I expect to just be clicking Power Gem most of the time because it does really well against them. Last but not least, we got Vaporeon. Just a Fizz Def set, Wish, Protect, Roar, Flip Turn to help. This is to help stall out Trick Room turns and to roar things out like Mega Blaziken, Calyrex Ice, such things like that, and keep things healthy. It's also helps with Scizor, and I believe, yeah, that is at least the plan with that. So let's go into the match here, as I'm going to lead off with Glamora. Smart ends up leading off with Rotom Wash. So I'm just gonna click Power Gem. This shouldn't outspeed unless they have like a good amount of speed investment, and they won't kill unless they're like max special attack kind of thing. Um, and I don't know if they bring max special attack kind of Rotom Wash with the fact that like I'm like at least with the fact that this could be Sash lead. So, but they actually missed the Hydro Pump, so I don't know exactly what the set is. And I get a Power Gem off, and they miss again, which is super unfortunate. Because I just took out the Rotom Wash, which it later turns out to prove that they actually were max special attack Rotom Wash. So Hydro Pump actually did kill Glamora, which and they were Focus Sash on top of that. So yeah, this was not. I'm really sorry to Smart about that. That was really brutal, and that's actually going to come in late. Come into effect also later this game as well. But yeah, Glomar gets a kill. They go out to Darkrai, and I forgot to mention they ended up being Terra Ground Darkrai. So that's something to keep in mind. So that's why I'm switching Hard Idol from Glomar to Vaporeon, because now they actually do have a Glomar Power Gem switch in, as they go for Hypnosis on the Vaporeon and get it. Wow. And they're gonna Terra Blast, and I'm fine with like sacking this sort of. I was fine with sacking this off-ish, right? Because I just wanted to get like Chiyu in for free. But I'm gonna. Luckily, I wake up and flip turn out, and it's super effective too. So no matter what, this thing is definitely dying to this flamethrower right now. As flamethrower comes off, gets the kill. I didn't Terra yet because of the fact that Morgrom could try to prankster, do something prankster wise. As I'm just gonna fire off another flamethrower, cause otherwise it's gonna do a butt ton. They have to put up the light screen, so it's gonna do a butt ton to them. And I'm gonna switch out to Vaporeon, which is really ended up being a really good switch because the Mega Blaziken ended up coming out. And I'm fine with sacking this off. I'm just gonna roar and make sure they don't get up the SD. I'm perfectly fine with that. And they end up going for CC anyway, so I'm gonna go to Zygarde, and I believe I 1,000 arrows. Yep, 1,000 arrows, and I kill that Morgrom, which is crazy. I didn't expect that to kill, to be honest, but yeah. So now we're in a really good position right now. We just have to. The one thing that's really scary is the Calyrex Ice. Obviously, I probably should save Zygarde because of the fact Mega Blaziken's really scary, right? But at this point, I'm going to switch out and I go into Glamora because I want to get Magearna in safely. And in case they have Trick Room, that's fine. I'm fine with sacking those off. This also lets me get up a T-Spike against the Mega Blaziken. If I ever force this thing out, then it's going to take T-Spike damage too. They go for Trick Room. And a Glacial Lance, which I actually live, which is another reason why the Hydro Pump miss was huge, because of the fact that, like, I lived that first off, and I would have been dead originally, right? Um, but I'm pretty sure 100% of the time it killed. But if for some reason it didn't, Glacial Lance would 100% kill this. They would get an attack boost, and it would be a really bad situation for me. And also, I wouldn't be getting T-Spike up. But I do Power Gem, and they're down to like 58%, which is really important, really good for me. Also crazy, but they clicked high horsepower, predicting the switch, I guess, maybe. But I'm going to go with the Miguna. They high horsepower. It does a butt ton. I'm going to Flash Cannon, just weaken this down even more. And I get the Spadef drop on top of that. So this is like really hacksy in my favor. As Glacial Lance is going to come out, and they're going to get another kill, but at this point, Mega Mewtwo X is just looking like it's going to sweep here. I'm going to Mega Evolve and just click Flamethrower, kill this here, and they're going to go to Scizor here, and I'm just going to Flamethrower again, kill this, and Mega Blazing comes out, and I'm just going to Side Strike. Cool attack upper hand for the Zygarde 50, but I actually I don't even have extreme speed this week. But yeah, this game was very unfortunate for Sma, and I'm sorry about that again. I'm sorry about that. That was a really hacksy game. He brought some really cool stuff too. He was normal. I think he was normal gem SD quick attack for Scizor, which meant that it was a roll to take out. A +2 was a roll to take out Chi-Yu, which would have been a really crazy if that worked out, because I would have been really in a really bad position if that happened. But yeah, let's go cut to the semis. So now we're on to semis, and we got a rematch against M Dragon, the homie M Dragon, and oh my god, very scared of this matchup. As I mentioned before, the sun aspect, the fact that Groudon was really abusing the Groudon plus Fluttermane really goes in on my team. If you don't remember what the team was, it was the Groudon, Fluttermane, Chienpao, Terra Latios, Empoleon, Slowbro, Terra Overqwil, Carkol, Altaria, and Hisuian Lilligant. And the team, I end up switching it up a lot, as you can see on the left. I ended up going with a Nasty Plot, Agility, Side Strike Thunderbolt. I want to go really offensive and go for Agility. I thought that would be a better win con, especially with the fact that they have Chlorophyll, Hisuian Lilligant, Fluttermane, who gets the speed boost, Scarf Groudon. I was thinking that, and Chienpao as well. I was thinking that this would be a better win con condition this game, so that's why I'm going with it. Then we got Hellfire, the Chi-Yu. Terra this time because I'm going to learn from my mistakes. Not bringing Terra Dark this time because Terra Fire Overheat will make the Terra Fire would make a difference in the overheat damage against the Fluttermane, as well as make it more of a 50-50 situation with Fluttermane, because of the fact that if they Shadow Ball, well, typically with Terra Dark, they could just Moonblast because that's the best way to hit Chi-Yu anyway, because it's neutral anyway with a Fire Dark. And then being super effective dark. But now with fire, it's resisted. So it's kind of like a 50-50, which is nice as well. Then we got Maguna, Flash Cannon, Dazzling Gleam, Reflect, Volt Switch. I have Reflect this time to help with the Groudon, the Student Lilligant, Chienpao, those kind of things to make it easier for pivoting to like switch onto these. And I also want Relaxed Nature so I could slow Volt out on the Empoleon kind of situation. Next, we got Glimmer. We got Air Balloon Glimmer, Mortal Spin, Earth Power, Memento Spikes. I wanted Mortal Spin because of the fact that they Hazard stacked me last time, and that was really important for that was really good against me, and I need those spikes and hazards away this game. So I'm going with Mortal Spin this time. We got Earth Power to hit the Empoleon and Overqwil, which was like the big thing. Memento to set up Big Mewtwo, which is really nice, and we got Spikes this game as well to get some hazards up as well. We also Toxic Debris, which is nice too. Then we got Vaporeon, Wish, Protect, Roar, Flip Turn, same set. Is my Fluttermane answer. It helps with Latios. It's important in this game, so and helping to deal with the sun aspect of it. And last but not least, we have pretty much the same exact Zygarde set. I felt like it was going to be really. I still feel like it was going to be really good because I thought Sober was going to come 100% of the time, but it did not. So as you can see, they brought Groudon, Terra Latios, Fluttermane, Empoleon, Overqwil, and Chienpao. And I'm going to lead off with the Chi-Yu. I believe I lead off with Chi-Yu. Right? Yeah, I lead off Chi-Yu. They lead off Empoleon. I just want to go through the mons they have, right? So they're Terra Psychic Latios and they're Terra Water Overqwil. As we know, we're Terrifier, Chi-Yu. At this point, I decided to just Terra. I believe I just Terra and just Flamethrower to get as much as down as possible, and help prevent help punish them for trying to get rocks up. So that's what I end up doing here, and man, it does over half. And I'm just gonna click Flamethrower again, and they actually go to Latios, which actually tanks this pretty decently well. So that means I'm gonna pivot out into Vaporeon here, just to get some pivoting going, right? I'm gonna flip turn out here as they go into Poland, probably to try to roost off the damage. And I'm just going out to Mewtwo here, and I'm just gonna click Thunderbolt, kill this thing, get rid of this. Fantastic. So if I get Immortal Spin off, rocks are away for the rest of the game. They go out to Flutter Mane. I'm going to go into Vaporeon, which is always my answer right now at this point, to Flutter Mane, as they get a Shadow Ball off, and I get to Wish Protect kind of shenanigans, which may seem solid, but it's my win con against this thing because this thing breaks my team otherwise. So I'm going to Wish Protect, get a little bit more healthy. I believe I wish one more time here, or two more times. I wish here, and I think I protect more time, yeah. And I think I wish here on the spit, and they get the Spadef drop if I remember correctly here. Yeah, they get the Spadef drop as I wish, and I'm gonna go hard into Zygarde because at this point I obviously know it's Specs, right? So at that point, doing that much to Vaporeon, and I'm gonna eat this up and get back up to full, which is fantastic. And I'm gonna get a Dragon Dance off real quick, see what it wants to do. I Dragon Dance, and they actually go for I get 1,000 arrows. I want to weaken this down because I wasn't sure if it was going to be Scarf again, but they end up showing SD, and I want 1,000 arrows again. Bring this really low, and I actually live this Earthquake. I don't remember if that was a roll or not. It might have been a roll, but it might have been in my favor, I believe. But it allows me to get the Power Construct off, which is really clutch. And I am going to 1,000 arrows as I break the balloon, which is really nice. Interesting. People were asking me about why this is overflow was air balloon. I actually got the information from M Dragon that he was predicting the Earth Power High Strike Mega Mewtwo X, which makes a lot of sense actually running that. But luckily for me, I'm Thunderbolt. But I'm just gonna go for a Dragon Dance again. At this point, I don't care too much about that, and I am in a pretty good health right now. And I could kill the Groudon here with 1,000 arrows, but they actually pivot into Overqlow, which is a really good play to get the Intimidate drop off on me, which is kind of unfortunate. But they go out to Champao. I'm gonna go out to Magearna here, and they actually show to not be banded, which is really interesting. So I'm really interested what this set is. It could be Sash, was kind of one of the things I thought it would be, and I believe I Dazzling Gleam, try to get off as much damage as I can as Groudon comes out. And I believe I go hard Glamour this time to show the air balloon at this point, and I could get a Immortal Spin off, which is really nice. So they go for Earthquake. I'm gonna get a Immortal Spin off, get rid of this Stealth Rocks because it's actually kind of annoying for Chi-Yu kind of situation and for taking the hits, as they actually Terra Psychic and kill me with Luster Purge. I decided to sack off Glamour at this point because of the fact that I want to keep Vaporeon healthy for the Flutter Mane at this point, and I feel like Glamour did its job to be able to pressure out the Groudon. Now it's at 22%. It's not taking a hit from really anything, and then on top of that, I was able to get the rocks off the field, and both of his Hazard Stack Mons are gone, which, I mean, Groudon could be rocks, but I doubt that with the set it's running. Especially since Apollyon has already. But they show to be Life Orb too, which I think I mentioned that, where it's already Life Orb. But I'm going to go with Chi-Yu. I just claim him with Flamethrower. Now that he's Terra Psychic, it destroys it, especially in Sun. They go out to Flutter Mane. I'm going to sack off the Zygarde complete at this point because I don't really need it for the rest of the game at this point, for what my end game was. I'm going to go out to Vaporeon, and I'm going to Wish up. Actually, no, I flipped turn predicting the Groudon to come in, or Champao, like they were playing aggressive last time. And I'm going to go to Mewtwo, and I'm going to Agility up and see if I can win this end game here. As they go hard Champao, which is crazy, actually. So I want to make sure that this Sash is broken, because that means Chi-Yu kind of could just win at that point. So I'm just going to Thunderbolt, do about half. They get a Crunch off. I get the Defense drop, which kind of sucks because now if they are running Sucker Punch, I believe I'm taken out at this point because I'm offensive Mega Mewtwo X. But I'm just going to Thunderbolt here as they make a play into Groudon. Really good play here. Probably a sack it off, right, you would think, but they actually double back out to Chiempao on the Side Strike, which is very risky plays right now. But I'm gonna Thunderbolt as they Sucker Punch, and the way they were playing it, right, made me feel like they're choice still, but they're not choice bandits. So my inkling right now is that this is actually a choice Scarf Chienpao at this point. So I'm gonna need to play around that as carefully as I can, meaning that this end game is gonna change up a lot. I'm going to fire off a flash cannon, I believe, at this point because it kills everything that comes in as I get a special attack boost. And at this point, this is where a 50-50 comes in, right? Because we got Fluttermane coming in, right? And I actually had it clicked to just click flash cannon, but then I thought about the fact that like Chiampao kind of might just win if I um get this wrong, and then if Magearna gets weakened too much, right? And then on top of that, I was thinking about the fact that um then I realized also that I remember that this thing gets mystical fire, which definitely OHKOs me in the sun. So my I think thought process is right now that like if they lock into Shadow Ball, if they lock into Shadow Ball, if I went to Vaporeon, I could saw a couple of turns of sun, right, which is nice, but also at the same time, Shadow Ball, Soy Specs Shadow Ball won't take out my Chi-Yu for full, which is why Glamorous Mortal Spin is really important. That leaves a showdown between Magearna and Xianpao, which Magearna will win 100% of the time at that point. So that also, even if I get the 50-50 wrong with like the move, I think I should still be in a good spot to clean up this end game with Chiyu and Magearna. So I actually end up switching to Vaporeon as they show off to be Mystical Fire, which means that I'm just going to play it safe and I'm just going to wish here and I'm going to wish here, and then I'm going to end up protecting because I want to make sure I get rid of these sun turns, because that means that Chi-Yu will outspeed. With the flip turn damage, Chi-Yu will kill this with like Flame Flower, which is really nice. So now the sun is gone. I'm just going to wish, and I'm going to flip turn out here. I'm in a really good position now, and Chi-Yu will come in right now. That is 100% in range of Fire Flamethrower as I go off for the Flamethrower, and I outspeed now because the sun is gone and Fluttermane's dead. And then here comes Chienpao, which does in fact show to be Scarf like I thought, and Flamethrower takes it out, and I live the crunch, which is really clutch. So that Mortal Spin from Glamora came in really clutch in this end game, because it could have gone really bad otherwise. So yeah, GG to M Dragon, and we happen to make it now to finals, which is crazy. I did not expect that happening when I came to this. When I was playing in the beginning of the season, I did not expect to make finals. So, and even M Dragon, the fact that I almost was going to pick up like a Grookey on my team, which is crazy. But yeah, so we are going to cut to finals. Oh man. So for finals we have a rematch from week one where we lost that week one to DD12345. Their team consists of Mega Mewtwo, Y, Rayquaza, Volcarona, Terra, Ferrothorn, Great Tusk, Milotic, Scolipede, Rotom, Fantera, Wigglytuff, Alolan Grimer, and Charjabug. Now, we lost this. So we had so if you look at this playoff situation, right? So quarterfinals, we didn't have a rematch. Semifinals, I had a rematch against a person I lost. Finals, we had a rematch against somebody I lost to. So I was like, this is a very interesting matchup. I feel like I have the advantage because I'm able to change up my prep to deal with some of the stuff. But I also have some new Pokemon on the team that I feel like gives this matchup actually a lot better advantage for me than I did before. So I'm going to talk about the team. Some of it is very similar to the first time I brought it, but sometimes some Pokemon are completely different or changed completely. First off, Glamora, we're going to start off with Power Gem Toxic Mortal Spin, Spiky Shield. This is to first off get Toxic off and Ferrothorns, spin away any hazards they set up, right? Power Gem is also meant to help with Choice Band Rayquaza. I have enough defense where I live Choice Band Dragon Ascents too, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Spiky Shield is really nice too because if I get the Toxic off on Great Tusk, I get Spiky Shield and I actually don't. The Air Balloon isn't broken by if they hit me with while I have the Spiky Shield up, which is really nice. I actually had to test that mechanic because I want to make sure that worked correctly with that. But Toxic's really good for wearing things down. Yeah. Then we got Scyther, bring it to finals, baby. Let's go. U-turn, dual wing beat, pounce, and pursuit. And I'm terrifying this time. I feel like terrifying hit their team really, really hard. Like the only switching to terrifying dual wing beat at this point are the only resist right now is the Rotom fan, which they didn't even bring, or terrible Corona, depending on what they tear into. And dual wing beat, even though there's like it hits Ferrothorn harder, it hits Rayquaza harder, and I have Pounce also in case Rayquaza gets out of hand with Dragon Dances, so I could always revenge it by outspeeding it. Um, but yeah, the big thing is Pursuit because Pursuit is really clutch for making me 2-1. That's the main thing I really liked out of getting Scyther here. And also the pivoting is really nice. They give me a really good scar for the outspeed things, but Pursuit is really important for that Mega Mewtwo Y because otherwise that thing can get really scary. But that allows me to open up for another Pokemon I'll get to in a little bit. But here we got Zygarde, Extreme Speed, Thousand Arrows, Coil, Substitute. Pretty much the same exact set. I felt like it was really good. I just needed to play around that Milotic better, I think. Specifically, not let Zygarde get toxic with from the Milotic, but yeah, this set is really good. This match. If they bring I was hoping they would bring Ferrothorn because I could set up on it, but at the same time, really glad they didn't. They didn't because Mortal Spin would be more free to get rid of hazards and stuff like that. Next we have Mega Mewtwo X, Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Ice Beam. Same set, but all I did was change Ice Beam. Change Flamethrower out for Ice Beam. I was like, I need a guaranteed way to get rid of this Rayquaza because otherwise it's a huge issue. I don't want it to come in on Mega Mewtwo X and be able to take me out without me being able to take it out, right? So that's kind of the idea here. Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, Ice Beam. On top of that, it's neutral anyway against Ferrothorn, so it's not the worst case scenario in the world, but yeah. Next we got Chi-Yu. We're bringing Specs Chi-Yu this time. Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Overheat, Memento, Terra Dark. This is so I have another way to pressure my load because my load kind of walled this thing last time. But now that I have Scyther on the team, I don't have to worry about Chi-Yu outspeeding the Mega Mewtwo Y. I can just put on like the spectacles and try to hit as hard as possible. Toy Specs does about 50%, so with the Terra Dark, it's going to do a lot, and his Dark Resists aren't that great either. So I feel like this is really good. Memento, obviously, for Zygarde and Mega Mewtwo X. Last Pokemon on the team we got is like a Fizz Death, Vaporeon, Wish, Protect, Roar, Flip Turn to get some of these hard hitters in. So yeah, that's how we're gonna start with, and I'm gonna lead with my Chi-Yu because my plan is for Mega Mewtwo Y to lead. I lead Chi-Yu, and they're gonna switch out thinking I'm Scarf into Milotic. I get a Dark Pulse off that specs. Does about 50%, about 50%, I believe, and then I'm gonna Terra Dark and take that thing out, and then Zygarde becomes a monster at that point. So, yeah, I'm gonna lead off with Chi-Yu, but I should have expected the Scolipede lead because that makes so much more sense when you have a Scolipede on your team because it's going to be a hazard stack. So, but I had a way to deal with that too because I feel like this is going to be Sash Endeavor, and so I'm going to go straight into Zygarde complete so I could get a sub up on this thing, and I also have priority in extreme speed. So I'm going to go to Zygarde here as they get up a spike, and I am going to sub up here as they show to be toxic. So I'm like, wow. I came into this game hoping to making sure that Zygarde doesn't get toxic and he gets toxic turn 2. So they get up another spike. I'm gonna take this down with 1,000 arrows, and I'm just gonna click it again to take this thing down. They actually endeavor to break my sub, and I get the kill, but they get 2 spikes up, and Zygarde is in a really bad position at this point. They bring up Mega Mewtwo on Y, and at this point, I'm just going to sack this thing off. It's not going to be able to deal with my load if now it's Toxic or Great Tusk. So, but I'm going to go out to Scyther. That gives me a free switch into Scyther, and I'm going to click Pursuit on them switching out. And look at that. It does a good amount as they go out to my Milotic here, and I'm pretty happy with that. Damage. It's going to be weakened now to the point where Mega Mewtwo X can easily deal with it too, especially since I'm assuming it's not going to be recovered this game. I feel like it needs the move slots. But I'm going to go Vaporeon here. On the Toxic, that is perfectly fine. As I'm going to click Wish here to see what they want to do. As they go hard Rayquaza, I'm going to Wish, and as I did before, as I said before, Glimmora is going to be a really good answer to Rayquaza at this point. It'll let me know if it's Choice Banded as well, and if it's not Choice Banded, if it's not Choice Scarf, okay, maybe I won't outspeed, but if it's not Choice Banded, I could play around that better, I think. So I'm gonna go hard into Glimmora as I'm Air Balloon. I'm also immune to the spikes. And you go Dragon Ascent, and that shows to be banded, Jolly Banded at this point. So I'm just gonna Mortal Spin, get rid of these spikes because it's gonna be kind of annoying, and they have no way to block it. So get the Mortal Spin off, which it shows to be Covert Cloak, like it was actually last time. So that's nice to know. That means that Chi-Yu is going to be even better for this because of the fact that it's not going to get recovery on the specs. I'm going to go into Vaporeon on the Scald. So they should be Toxic Scald, right? I'm assuming Recover and probably Haze it again, like the same set. So I'm just going to Flip Turn out. I'm not letting this Rayquaza in for free as I go out to the Mewtwo, and I'm just going to click Ice Beam here. Perfectly fine with that as they go into Milotic again. So this is going to be kind of like a weird cycle that's going to happen right now. So I'm going to go to Vaporeon because Vaporeon walls this Milotic at this point right now. And it just gets me a free flip turns out. As I get to go, I'm going right out into Scyther here. I'm just going to pivot right back into Vaporeon by using U-turn and weaken this thing down. And I'm just going to start doing this this U-turn flip turn cycle where they're going to be in a situation where they're going to be losing out. But I think at this point, I actually end up going to Glimmora here, yeah. And I'm going to get the Toxic off because I want to wear this thing down. And they get a Scald off, which is fine. And I get burned, not the worst thing in the world. Now this would be really nice for like a sack for Rayquaza anyway. But if I keep up this momentum between Vaporeon, Scyther, and Mewtwo, and making Mewtwo-X, I feel like I'm going to be in a really good position for this end game. As I'm going to go pivot right back into Vaporeon so I can get a free flip turn off. I get the Toxic damage is going to be chipping this thing down. I could just pivot between the Mons now. So I'm going to go flip turn out into the Mewtwo, and I'm just going to click Ice Beam. There's no reason why I shouldn't. It's pretty free here. As I go for the Ice Beam, they're chipped down. The Toxic's chipping them down. I believe I go out to Vaporeon again because I don't want to get Toxic or burned at this point. And I'm going to flip turn out again. Just going to keep doing it. And they're going to go into Mega Mewtwo Y as I'm going to go out to the Scyther. And I'm just going to click U-turn. I think they probably predict the pursuit this time. So maybe they think I'm not Scarf. And try to hit me as hard as possible. But I'm just going to U-turn, show that I'm a Scarf at this point. And I'm going to go out to Chi-Yu because what I want to do is I want to force in that Milotic because otherwise Chi-Yu is going to put on a lot of pressure on the team. They can't go to Rayquaza because Band Extreme Speed doesn't take me out, and I outspeed, and the Dark Pulse does a tremendous amount, and especially Terra Dark. Volcarona can't really set up on me that well unless it wins a speed tie, but I also forgot to mention that I wanted to show was they are actually Terra Dragon and Volcarona. I forgot to mention that. So that's something to keep in mind. But Dark Pulse is really free in this game, and Great Tusk does not want to take that Dark Pulse. I wanted to force out the Milotic, so I'm going to go into Vaporeon. They Scald. I'm going to flip turn right out because we're going to be back in this cycle because there's not much he can do about it at this point. The flip turn into Mewtwo, into then going back into my Vaporeon. I think something he needed to do was pull a double in this game, like pull a double out here, expecting the Vaporeon to come in. But then my Locust really weakened. It's going to get weakened here, but they do actually pull the double here into Volcarona. As I'm just going to Roar, and they Terra Dragon, and they actually sub up, which is interesting. Which actually puts them in range, actually, of Psystrike from Mega Mewtwo-X, by the way, if they're offensive. So that's something to keep in mind. But they actually show to be Booster Energy, Great Tusk. Very interesting for speed. And I'm just going to roar this thing out and not want to deal with it. I could have gone to Mega Mewtwo, but I wasn't Mega Evolved yet, so I didn't want to take the extra chip damage. As I get back into Volcarona, and unfortunately, that's the one I didn't want again. I wanted to get my Milotic in, but I get to roar it out, and we're back into Rayquaza here. And at this point, that's fine. I sack off Vaporeon, and I think we're in enough of a good position where making Mewtwo-X can put in the work here. I'm just going to Ice Beam here. And something I need to remember that I forgot in the game, because I went for the Psystrike here, and I forgot that like Marvel scale with Toxic. So I didn't actually I forgot about the damage with that. So I thought Psystrike was going to kill, but it actually doesn't. But that's perfectly fine at this point. as I believe I sack off Glamore at this point, predicting the Scald or Toxic. And I'm just going to fire off a Power Gem and try to weaken this as much as possible at this point. So that's something to keep in mind. And now it is below, it's around 37%. And now it's actually a roll from Side Strike. If you remember before, it did 39% before. So I'm just going to click Side Strike here. And I actually get like ultra low rolled, but it's fine because they went for Scald instead of Toxic. They didn't get a burn too, which is really clutch. They have to go out to Great Tusk, and I'm going to Ice Beam, bring this thing really low, and they Headlong, and I can just recover all this off, which is really nice. I thought about Calm Mining, but I didn't want to be in a position where I got crit, was kind of the big thing. Because I didn't want to like chance any of it, so I just Ice Beam here. They go to Rayquaza, and they are gonna click Choice Band Extreme Speed, but I chew that. Look how much I'm making me to choose that. I get an Ice Beam off, and last Pokemon up, making me 2x Side Strike. Down goes Volcarona. So yes, we win BBL Arceus Season 11. Crazy on the back of Mega Mewtwo X at the end. Wow, Mega Mewtwo X went crazy. Um, did not expect this season to go like that, but I think there's so many things that happened with especially the transactions that really turned this season around, which I didn't even expect it to. But adding Scyther on the team really changed the team around a lot. Especially Terra on it, it made it a lot better with like what it needed to do. So yeah, but yeah, we added another championship under our belt, and this was actually being played at around the same time as the WPF league. So we were having two finals, having around pretty much a week apart, which was like really crazy time for me. But yeah, that was GG to DD 1 2 3 4 5. Hopefully we get a rematch in BBL because that was a really crazy game. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to show you the story of my BBO season 11 season. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, Bash out.